Hello and welcome back to another review here on the C Cinema Reviews channel, and today we're going to be reviewing another movie starring The Rock. Who knew he owns Hollywood? In fact, he owns the production company, I believe, that produced this movie. At least it looks like his. I'm pretty sure it's his. But this is Red Notice. It obviously stars Dwayne Johnson, but also stars Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. Ryan Reynolds is your kind of co-star. Gal Gadot is the antagonist, which is really fun. I thought she did a great job at being kind of playfully antagonistical. Is that a word? Antagonistical. Anyway, she did it really good. This is obviously a comedy. Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, they pull it off. I gotta give them a lot of credit. Also, I gotta give the writers a lot of credit. They did a really solid job with this movie, and Rawson Marshall Thurber, did a really good job with this movie. I feel like the writing was really solid as far as the story structure and the progression of not only characters but the progression of finding things out about the heist and whatnot. This was a lot of fun to watch. I've seen it twice, so I definitely enjoyed it both times, which is, I feel like I enjoyed it even more the second time because I could see what was going to happen, or I knew what was going to happen, and I could see the setup for it, which is always amazing. But this movie's really fun. Honestly, Netflix, for all the bad movies that they put out, this one definitely hit the mark, and they took advantage of the people that they had. I'm sure that Mr. Thurber, I'm Mr. Let me check. Yes, Mr. I'm sure that Mr. Thurber did a great job with writing the part for Ryan Reynolds. I'm also pretty sure Ryan Reynolds did some uh, uh, what's the word? Improv. There we go. Improv. Clearly, I'm great at it too. I'm sure that Ryan Reynolds did obviously so much improv on this, and it shows, and it's really good. It's honestly one of the funniest movies I have seen in a minute, and that's thanks to one, Dwayne Johnson and his ability to kind of be the straight faced character as opposed to Ryan Reynolds' character, who is just the mouth. It's really such a fun movie, and they pull off all elements of the like tones and like tropes that happen. Um, the heist was great. There was more than one heist, which is always fun in movies to kind of build up different heists and escapes. And this is going to be a spoiler review. Didn't mention that at the beginning. I'll put a thing right here. Sure. Yeah, right there. Spoilers. Ed Sheeran is in this movie. I died. Absolutely died laughing with Ed Sheeran's part in this movie, which was just some of the best comedy I have seen in a very long time. And I am not the only one. I know. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You died laughing too. It was absolutely golden. If you don't if you don't want to watch this movie for anything else, if nothing else that I've said or that you've seen in a trailer has excited you about this movie and actually made you want to go on Netflix and watch it, Ed Sheeran, it's about 2 minutes of the movie. It's worth the 2 hours and 7 minutes. I promise you. This movie was so funny from start to finish, and that is thanks to Ryan Reynolds and thanks to the great writing of Mr. Thurber, and Ed Sheeran, just a perfect capstone on this movie. This is a spoiler review, so I am going to, say some spoilers, other than Ed Sheeran being in it. He's at the end, by the way. Dwayne Johnson, Agent John Hartley, being a partner to Gal Gadot, being her partner. The Bishop is what like she goes by as her moniker for a thief, and what it's a great line in the movie where Dwayne Johnson says there are two bishops in chess, and of course, it makes total sense. And I loved the setup too. There was really solid setup, and one thing that not a lot of not how should I say this? One thing that I really enjoyed that doesn't happen often was the flashbacks throughout the movie from Ryan Reynolds' character, flashing back to the hints of Dwayne Johnson's character being another thief. It was really beautiful, and I loved having those flashbacks. And I think that this movie is not a movie about subtlety, and so having the flashbacks, I feel like really went along with the feel of this movie, and the tone of it. It was a really beautiful way to do that. Um, Obviously, there's was a absolutely golden dynamic between Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. I feel like those two should just. I can't wait for Red Notice 2, and I don't know 3. And honestly, if they keep it as good as this one, give me as many as their Fast and Furious movies. Because anyway, their dynamic was so beautiful, and I hope that they find a way to keep that dynamic too in the second one. Obviously, adding Gal Gadot's character to their kind of tandem, we'll see how that works out. Because they obviously team up at the end for another heist, which hopefully is in Red Notice Part 2. Um, so yeah, I hopefully they can keep their dynamic while adding some really fun parts to Gal Gadot and her character. Um, I feel like that would be a really fun idea to have them two, and it would be challenging to fit in a third person because the dynamic between them two is just so good that having another character, I could see how it can be difficult to write that, and make it feel organic and have the same kind of tone and everything as this one did. But I'm sure that they can do it. I have no doubt. And this was just it was such a fun movie. There's a lot of locations. There's some great action scenes. It's cut up like crazy. So obviously you're not going to get your John Wick beautiful action scenes. It's definitely cut up like a Marvel movie. Yeah, I said it. Not Shang-Chi though. Shang-Chi was good. Fight action scenes. You know what I mean. Um, but yeah, I felt like every part of this movie has like had some really solid moments. As far as a heist movie, it had some really fun setups to where we're gonna go, what we're gonna be stealing, what's the security like. I love that. And then as another part of the heist movie, having a plan and discovering that plan as Ryan Reynolds' character is executing the plan was such a cool way to do it, and kind of giving us that character, the Rock's character, being the audience and asking all the questions. It was really well done. I loved what they did with um, Sotavoci. I love what they did with that character. That character was so amazing. I loved how he should have died like 3 times. Was it 3 times? He should have died an amount of times. No, he should have died once. And then, yeah, the other time he just got knocked out. But I loved how at the perfect moment for the characters to get into more hijinks, he would literally just wake up from either should have been dead or being knocked out. And it was almost like a Frankenstein kind of thing where he just like popped up like really fast. And the comedy that came out of that from Ryan Reynolds' character was really beautiful. The one thing I do have one criticism. Um, there's a lot. I understand it's a long movie. You had a lot of CGI, all that, and you did a great job. You did a great job. But the bull sequence and when the shot where the bull runs into the rock, nah, that was it looked pretty jank. Pretty jank. Other than that though, this movie was really really gorgeous. I really liked the locales and the all the places that they were able to go. They had some really cool the ending in the jungle and all that was really fun. The jumping through a waterfall, it like harkens back to the old adventure movies where they jump over the waterfall to escape the enemy. And what could be better than jumping over something than to jump through it? So it was a lot of fun. I really do think that this movie is one that you should watch. Like, if you have Netflix, and again, just like I said last time, if you don't have Netflix, I don't know. But if you have Netflix and if you want to have a good time, watch this movie. For the Ed Sheeran appearance alone, it is worth it. I promise you that. And if you already have Netflix, it's free, so just watch it. This movie has pretty much everything you could want in a fast action comedy heist movie, honestly. Character development, not so much, but that kind of takes a back seat to all the hijinks that the characters get into. And I loved the feel of there. You had your Oceans kind of feel with the heist. You had your comedy, obviously. You had your bit of Indiana Jones at the end with the jungle and Nazis, of course. There's something so interesting and terrifying at the same time about how the Nazis fled, and that's not just in the movies. Like, I think about it and I'm like, it harkens back to Indiana Jones. Nazis, trying to find something spectacular or art and stuff like that, ancient relics. And it like scares me to know, not scares me. It scares me to know that that kind of did happen. They definitely did flee and survived. But it was a lot of fun, honestly. This movie had so much in it. They went to all over the globe, and honestly, I feel like this movie was just, it's kind of what you need, It reminds me very much of just one of those movies that you need when things, this world isn't exactly in the best shape it's ever been. So having all this craziness going on around you, and just being able to escape and be entertained thoroughly entertained. Again, I am someone who, if your movie entertains me, then you did good. And this movie definitely entertained me. I was like, from start to finish, I had a lot of fun watching this movie, and honestly, it'll let you escape this terrible world for 2 hours 7 minutes, and it's worth it. Just please, if you have the chance, watch this movie. It's definitely worth it. I think that you will have a lot of fun. It's kind of like a pseudo turn your brain off kind of movie where it's like you don't have to think extremely hard, but you still, like, to follow some of the plans and stuff, you still got to use your brain just a little bit. But it was a lot of fun, honestly. But that's enough for me. Tell me what you think about this movie in the comment section down below, or, in the comment section down below. And subscribe if you haven't. I enjoy movies. I talk about them. I put them on the internet. Hopefully you enjoy that. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and the little bell can notify you when I put up another one like this. Um, yeah, but again, tell me what you thought. And yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. It's a lot of fun.